Hello and welcome to the prep video for Stick with Kindness. I just wanted to give you a little bit of an explanation so you can have this part done before we start class. Otherwise we'd be doing this and then have to wait for it to dry and then base in some cactus. So I thought if I gave you a prep video and showed you how I did this background, that would help us just be a step or two ahead in our class. So the first thing you want to do is you want to give your surface a coat of bleached sand, and only one coat will do because there's a lot of stuff that goes on top of it, but you want to be sure to sand this lightly once it's dry. And I'm doing two surfaces. So what you need to do next is you need to get out your stencil. Now on the original I used this Tim Holtz lattice work layering stencil, but you can go through the stencils you have at home already and just find something that no words, something with a large enough cut so that you'll be able to remove the paint from it. So I kind of went through what I had here, and there's this one that is called Flame. There's also, you could also do something like this doodle one in the background. That would be cute. These flowers would be nice. This one is a mosaic, and I may do this one on the background on the second piece. So just get out your stencil, and you also want to get out a nice baby wipe that's moist, maybe two. And what we're going to do is you're going to get some Canyon Orange and put that out on your palette, and you want to mix it with a little bit of bleach sand because you don't want it to be quite that bright. We want to kind of mute it down a little bit. So I'm going to mix that up with bleach sand. I was going to use a palette knife, but who knows what I did with those, so I'll just do it with a brush. So I'm just going to see how that bleach sand kind of mutes that color a little bit so it's not so bright and in your face. So I think I need a little bit more Canyon Orange. I don't want it quite that muted. I put out too much bleach sand is what I did. So you see, it happens to all of us. So yeah, that's a little better. You want it to be orange, but you want it to be muted down. And then what you want to do is you want to thin that just a little. Just wash, make it a wash, but a really heavy wash. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put this wash of color over that bleach sand, and it can be streaky. It's okay. You want to work fast because you don't want this to dry right away. So if you got your heater on in your room, you probably want to turn it down just a little bit. Then I'm just going to get this muted down orange onto this piece. And now what we're going to do is we're going to do some what I kind of call reverse stenciling. So I'm going to take my stencil and I'm going to put it on my piece, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to wipe out the paint. And so I get this when I'm left with it. And I went ahead and did the whole thing, even where the little border is going to be at the bottom, because it's just easier than trying to avoid it. But you're going to have to just move your stencil around and move your baby wipe around, but just rub and wipe out that color that's on the background. It doesn't have to all be the same. You can leave more paint in places. It doesn't really matter. But you just want to work quickly. And probably the best part is going to be covered up with cactus. But that's okay. Okay. So as you get over to the side here, you find that it's a little bit harder to remove, but it's really, I like this technique. I like this effect. And if you're roll your baby wipe around so you keep some moist spots that aren't fully loaded with paint. Okay, I'll take a little bit out of that area, even though it's probably covered up. All right, I think I like that. So this is what the background is, and then we do some shading on it. I don't know that we do some highlighting or not, but there you go, quick and easy. So whatever stencil you decide to use, if you do want the Lettuce Works stencil, I should have those on the website shortly. They're ordered. Sometimes they come quick, sometimes they take a while. But what you want to do also is you want to dry this now. I have plenty of paint there to do my next surface. So I'm drying this, especially on this right side. You want to have that dry. All right. And then the next thing you're going to do, and you're going to apply a wash of straight Canyon Orange. And this is going to be a really thin down wash because we want to tint the right half of this background with a little bit more orange so that this side is kind of like has a bright light. So your eye is kind of drawn over here and this is kind of settling into the background. So I'm going to take my same flat brush that I used and just straight Canyon Orange, and I'm going to make a wash, and this is pretty thin because it's more like a tint or a glaze. It's not, you don't really want to leave a whole lot of paint there. But all I'm going to do is I'm just going to tone this side down a little bit with that glaze of Canyon Orange, and you don't have to do it neatly, but I just kind of wanted to tone that bleach sand down a little bit, and just kind of trail off when you get over into the left side. All right, so there's your background. Easy peasy. I love this technique. I thought it gave it a unique look. After this, you let this dry. You apply the pattern for the border here, tape it off, paint it, and then follow the rest of the prep instructions for basing in your cactus. So I hope this helps you with your prep. I look forward to painting with you in April. Thanks so much. Bye-bye.